Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Dave Garcia, the Executive Director of Affirmations. Welcome to Affirmations. This is our 30th anniversary year. I want to welcome you to your home. I want to welcome some community leaders here. Mark Rawati from Equality Michigan is here with us. We have a lot of members from City Council, a lot of community leaders. Dave will be introducing some of the electeds as well. I was driving in this morning and thinking to myself, we'd be hard-pressed to find any other organizations around this country that don't feel the real effects of discrimination and homophobia other than the LGBT community centers around our country. We see the effects of discrimination every single day with every client and guest that walk through these doors. And I think we have a responsibility to be direct and honest about where that's coming from. Why is it at a time when in our nation and across the state, the vast majority of citizens believe that LGBT people should not be discriminated against at work, public accommodation, housing, simply because of who they love or who they are having sex with? Why is it that the majority of people think that way, yet we're here today? Well, we know why. And let's be clear about this. Right now, in the state legislature, we are looking to amend Elliott-Larsen to expand those protections to include sexual orientation and gender identity. But the conservative Republicans will not even let it come to a hearing, much less a vote, even though our governor has said she will sign it if it hits the desk. Nationally, we have the Equality Act at the federal level to protect LGBT people in housing, employment, public accommodation. But the conservative Republican majority in the Senate, because for the first time in the history of our country, it has passed the House of Representatives. But the Senate will not even allow it to come out of a committee, much less a vote, and we know what will happen even if it passed the Senate at the president's desk. Right now, as we all stand here, the President of the United States is trying to fire over 10,000 transgender people from the United States military who want only to serve their country openly and honestly with integrity, which is more than we can say for him. Right now, the President of the United States is working diligently to make it legal to discriminate against the LGBT community as long as your weapon of choice is religion. That's why we're here today. And so, yes, I'm angry. But I am very proud of our home and our county this morning. I am very proud of this man beside me who served our city honorably here in Ferndale and is now working hard to protect us countywide. And so I welcome here this morning. I thank you, Dave, for everything that you're doing, all of you commissioners, for everything you do for us, will continue to do for us, as we together continue to fight discrimination across the state and across this country. County Executive Dave Coulter.
Thank you, David, and in particular, thank you for your leadership of this center. We're glad to have you home, back to Michigan and in Oakland County. Your leadership is so important here, and thank you for everything you're doing here. It is my pleasure to be here with many of my colleagues and fellow elected officials as we send a statement across Oakland County and hopefully across the region and the state that discrimination will not be tolerated as long as we're here. That has been a fundamental value of mine and the people that are standing behind me during our lifetimes, but as David so passionately articulated, the struggle continues and the struggle is real. And we have a golden opportunity, just like we did in Ferndale, when we passed what we called at the time a human rights ordinance in Ferndale to make sure that no one was being discriminated in Ferndale based on the classes that we care about. And a lot of us have been hoping that the state would finally amend Elliott Larson. It needs to. The governor has advocated for it. The governor was here earlier this year. Senator Moss and I were just saying we started the year here and now we're ending the year here with the governor signing important executive directives within the employees of the state of Michigan, but not for all of Michigan. I can't wait till we can get Elliott Larson on her desk, but it's going to take us all being motivated. But one of the things we can do is make sure that right here in Oakland County, we're doing everything to make sure that our employees, our contractors, our vendors are adhering to non-discrimination policies that will make Oakland County an even greater county than it is now. And make no mistake, this isn't just the right thing to do morally, although it certainly is, but it's also the right thing to do economically. I know that if we're going to keep our young people here in this region, if we're going to create good-paying, if we're going to create employees to go to the great jobs that we have in Oakland County, our employers understand the value of doing this. They have adopted these sort of policies since long before government. They've taken the lead on these kinds of issues because they understand that if they want the workforce of tomorrow, then they need to make sure that their companies are open and inclusive of everyone, and we need to do the same thing for Oakland County. So I'm proud to be here today, and I must say this is a joint effort because we have a unique situation in Oakland County now. Last year, the Board of Commissioners became Democratic for the first time in how many years, Dave? 42 years. And that created a sea change, but if you couldn't get that legislation passed through the executive's office, it was just going to stay at the Board of Commissioners. And so 3.5 months ago, I had the historic opportunity of being the first Democrat to be in the office of county executive in Oakland, and we're making a difference. We're working on transit. We're working on diversity and inclusion. And today, we're taking another important step forward, and I'm excited to do it here from Affirmations because this is the beacon of equality and inclusion in our county. I'm glad you're all here. I hope you come back. I hope you support this center because it's important to our community and our region that places like this exist. So I'm excited to be here to help to literally sign the resolution that will add gender identity and gender expression, as well as veteran status, familial status, and marital status to our non-discrimination policies in Oakland County. But first, I'd like to introduce a couple of folks for you to hear from that really made this happen at the Board of Commissioners level. They're the ones that passed this last week and debated this, and so it is my pleasure to bring them up. Before I do, I want you to know, though, that this isn't just a county issue or a city issue or a state issue or a federal issue. We're all in this together. And I'm really proud and honored to be joined by so many of our elected officials that understand the value of sending this message across Oakland County and across the region. So I just want to point some of them out to you in addition to the two that are going to speak in a minute. Our County Water Resources Commissioner Jim Nash is here with me today. State Senator Jeremy Moss is with me here today, Representative Robert Wittenberg, Ferndale Mayor Dan Martin, Council members Greg Pollica, Dennis Whitey, and Julia Music are here today, and we're here to send the message that it is time that government catch up to where businesses and other organizations have been in this country and in this state and protect all of our residents in all the ways that we can. So thank you all for being here. And now I want to introduce the relatively new, chairman of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners and the first Democrat to hold that role in 42 years, my friend and partner on the commission, Dave Woodward. I didn't see you speak.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. This is an incredible honor. I've been working on this particular issue in some capacity for the last 20 years. My tenure when I served in the legislature before I was at the board, also working on 2 ballot initiatives to bring into my hometown in Royal Oak. And so fighting for equality at the local level to build the momentum for final state action is absolutely key. Throughout our history, our nation has moved to become a more perfect union, and it usually resulted in expanding the rights of people, freedom, and equality. And there's a lot to be done, and we've talked a lot about the need for Michigan to advance the changes and update the Elliott Larson's Michigan Civil Rights Act And we've got some great champions at the state level here that are fighting that fight every single day. Without those changes, ultimately, unfortunately, if you are, because of sexual orientation, you can be discriminated against. If you are gay, you can be fired. It's outrageous in 2019 that we're still actually dealing with this. And in Oakland County, we made a decision at the beginning of this year that we weren't going to wait. That if Michigan can't manage to get the job done, and we've got our champions and our governor's fighting and doing everything she possibly can, Oakland County is prepared to lead on this issue and protect the rights and fair treatment of all people. I firmly believe that if America stands for anything, it's equal opportunity for all. And we started off this year committed to expand equality for everyone, and I'm so excited that we're able to achieve that goal by the Board of Commissioners, as Executive Coulter mentioned, passing last week Oakland County's first comprehensive anti-discrimination policy. All people should be treated fairly and equally, and this policy implements not only these values in a very clear way, but we also expect businesses that do business with Oakland County, that use taxpayers' funds, to be held to those same standards. It is the right thing to do, and that's what this policy accomplishes. It's a reminder that today that we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us and fought for equality for everyone. Today we do our part, and we take the next step in making Oakland County a better place, the place that I'm so proud to have my daughters grow up in. Now make no mistake, this is only possible because Oakland County elected a pro-equality majority last November. This is only possible because of that, and it's only possible because we have a leader. Unlike at the national level, or even at where these efforts are blocked. When I reached out to Executive Coulter, if we get this to your desk, will you sign it? Not only did he say he will sign it, how quickly can you get it to my desk? And that's why we're here today, because not only is this an important message, but this is how we are going to govern and for a more perfect place. We're here because I want to also mention a couple of my colleagues that helped make this possible. And again, if it wasn't for their election in November, we wouldn't be here. Commissioner Gwen Markham is here with us today from Novi. Commissioner Kristen Nelson is here from Waterford. And next up, it is my pleasure to introduce the woman who helped lead this effort and sponsor this new policy, our County Commissioner Penny Lubes from Clawson, that's here. So
Yes, Penny.
these are the majority makers.
Huh?
Nice save.
I know.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Executive Coulter, for your support of this policy. I am Penny Lubes, Oakland County Commissioner of Clawson, part of Troy, a little bit of Royal Oak, and I'm proud to be the sponsor of the Oakland County's comprehensive anti-discrimination policy. When I'm asked, why is it important for Oakland County to adopt this policy, the answer is simple. When all people are treated as equal, we're all better off and our communities are stronger. This new policy ensures that all are protected, all are valued, and affirms our county is a welcoming place for everyone. Expanding equality for all is the moral thing to do, and that is reason enough. But as a former mayor and as a current county commissioner, this is also important from an economic development perspective. The top companies and job creators want to be located in welcoming places. We want these jobs here. Welcoming places that embrace equality are the places that the future talent wants to live and work. This policy is increasingly an expectation of the next generation of workers we want to stay here, to come here, and who need to power our economy. Said another way, expanding equality is not just the right thing to do, it's also good for business, and that's good for our county's economy. Today, I'm glad to see Oakland County join the many other local communities and other governments to protect against discrimination and help create a better world. Thank you. And now it's time to sign the bill.
Yes. All right. The cool part. Yeah, come on. All right. I'm supposed to sign it. All right. Oh, where the tag is, Dave? Would that be where it is? Thank you. Great to have friends. So it's a two-part process in county government. You stamp it that I hereby approve the foregoing resolution. So. Yep. And then sign. It's technically a resolution, not a bill, but this is Oakland County. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Yes! Yay! Thank you, guys. Thank you. Woo! Thank you, everybody. And that's how it's done, right? Mayor, yeah, thanks for being here. I'm glad you could be here, Dennis. Greg. We will take a couple questions, yes. Oh, well, yeah, we'll go up there. We're going to take a few questions. Yeah, come on up and yeah.
So you do call this a policy as opposed to an ordinance. Is that a semantics or?
It's a semantics. This is law in Oakland County. We call them resolutions as opposed to a bill, but this is now the law in Oakland County.
And this covers vendors for the county. Will you require those vendors to have a written policy, and is there a lead time to give them an opportunity to fulfill that obligation?
There is a lead time. Remind me how many days until it's in effect. It starts in 90 days, so they have 90 days to get their policies in place. But yeah, we'll require it in writing. Handshake is nice, but trust but verify. Yeah. Any other questions of anyone? All right. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.